Hello everyone, welcome back to one more video on the Linux series. In this video, we will compare different cloud solution providers. We will compare AWS, Azure, Vultr, and DigitalOcean. The main idea behind this video is to find a cheap and cost-effective cloud solution so that we can use it for our demo, also for future users in case we decide to move it to production. I will also give a brief experience with some of these providers, my personal experience, and not an elaborate one, just a brief how I felt with different service providers. And without further ado, let's get started. I will open up my browser. I have chosen four. One is Vultr, then other is DigitalOcean, then I have AWS and Azure. I have used all four of them for different of my clients, and I also have experience setting up with all four of them. I need to show you what AWS and what Azure provides. Both AWS and Azure comes with a free tier services, which means they provide free services for 12 months. It's almost like 750 hours free computation of a virtual machine. It could be either Windows or Linux. So now let's take a look at the pricing. And the same Azure also provides similar thing like that. They provide a virtual machine, either Windows or Linux, and it's 750 hours per month, and it's for 12 months free. They have a pricing calculator. I'll open up their pricing calculator. If I go to the bottom, I should be seeing a pricing calculator. Yeah, their pricing calculator. AWS says that they are giving 750 hours free. Okay, let's say that we get used to AWS and then we are more comfortable with AWS. And then what happens finally after 12 months? Once you are more familiar with AWS, once you set up something, after all the free services are gone, then you have to pay for the services, right? So our goal should not be choosing something at present. What will be the money that we will be paying after the free services are completed? So because before you even think about it, the 12 months will be gone. Let's say we search for a location, Mumbai. I'm choosing it because it's closer to me. And let me get down here to select a service. You could see the bottom how much price it will cost per month, and for 12 months in case I'm going to reserve it for a couple of years, how much will be the upfront cost. In such cases, I need to pay all the money upfront. So I will go for EC2 because that's the free version that they are providing, and they also specify that this free version means it's only for T2 micro, T3 micro. Okay, let's go and configure EC2, and that's fine. It's again shared, and I'm choosing a Linux operating system. I don't want to go with Windows. And what will be my usage? Will there be a spike monthly, weekly? Now let's say constantly it will be there, and there will always be more traffic. And so they said we need to choose T3 or T2 micro. So let's go for T3, or let's start with T2 micro, and then any CPU. Let's see what is present. T2 micro, which gives us one CPU, 1 GB, and performance is very low to moderate, and this is what we need. So for such a service, and I'm not going to reserve, I'm going to pay only on demand 100% usage per month. So eventually this will make me pay $9 per month. Obviously it is currently free for 12 months. After 12 months I will be paying $9 per month for a service which gives me 1 GB memory and 1 CPU. Then we have a lot of other things. So it ends up at $9 per month. Let's go to this AWS. I'm sorry, we completed AWS, right? We go to Azure. Azure, we have virtual machines. Then we also chose the calculator here. So virtual machine. No thanks. View. I added a virtual machine, but this virtual machine ended up as 8 GB RAM, 50 TB, blah 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 something. But what does the free version says? Free version says we should choose B1s. Okay, let's choose B1s. B1, yes, B1 is small. So basically it is one core, it's one CPU, 1 GB RAM, and 4 GB temporary storage. And let's say it runs for 730 hours a month. And I don't need Windows. No, definitely no. On Linux. And type is, let's say, Ubuntu. Let's keep it at Ubuntu because it is free. Or maybe let's keep it at CentOS. It doesn't make any difference. And I will pay as I go. I will not pay for a month. I will not reserve anything. So here we will end up paying $7.59 per month. So compared to AWS, Azure pricing is a little bit less. Now let me go ahead and check Vultr. Vultr, we don't need to do all these calculators, blah 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 kind of thing. It's very straightforward. I will directly go ahead and deploy a server. I have already logged in with my account. If you would notice, for Azure, I have not logged in, and same for Azure and AWS, I have not logged in. It's been quite some time I use their products. We have so many, like we have cloud compute, we have bare metal, blah blah blah. So we will go with cloud compute. And I don't want high performance. I just need regular performance. And a location, in this case, Mumbai is closer to me. And I don't need Debian. I will go with Alma Linux 9. And I don't need 55 GB. I will go with this. So it says I have 25 GB SSD, 1 CPU, 1 TB bandwidth, and 1 GB memory. It's almost the CPU and memory. It's almost the same as what AWS or Azure provides, but it has 25 GB SSD storage space. Eventually, I will be paying $6 because it includes 5% tax. I think the Azure calculator does not include the tax at present, so maybe if we add tax into account, it will come up to 8 or 9, and this one will definitely go up to 10 or 11. Finally, we will go to create a droplet. So here it is called as droplet. AWS it is called as EZ2, and okay, Azure is straightforward. They just call it as virtual machine, no fancy names. And Vultr call them as cloud compute. Microsoft is the only company who comes up with straightforward name, just virtual machines. That's it. Droplets, it's nothing but the same instance. So I will choose Bangalore in this case, and image, let's stay with Alma Linux, and it's just a basic CPU, regular performance. Okay, there is a $4 per month option, but we are only comparing one CPU, 1 GB, right? So in this case, both Vultr and Azure gives me the same. In fact, Vultr gives me $6 per month after adding the tax. So before adding tax, it was just $5 per month. But DigitalOcean comes with $6 per month, that too before adding the tax. So we have it like this. Vultr, which gives me, all four gives me the same kind of service. With Vultr is much better, giving me 25 GB SSD, storage space is much more at a lesser price. The second lesser price is for DigitalOcean. The third will be for Azure, which gives me the service at $7 per month, almost 9. So the problem here is I have earlier experience with AWS. The pay by, I will show something else. I will go to the savings plan. If we go to the savings plan for 1 year, no upfront, then I will be paying very less money. But I have to reserve it for 1 year, which means that I cannot stop using the service in between. I need to use the service till the end of the year. In case I fail to use it, I have to pay some money. They will deduct the money. I have earlier experience using AWS. I ended up paying a lot of money. The reason is most of the services from AWS and Azure are on-demand based. For instance, if there are more data transfer, if there are more usage of certain service, it will over time increase the bill. There is no guarantee that your bill will remain the same this month and next month. At one point, what I set up as $9 or $10, I ended up paying almost double the price, $20, $25, and over time it kept on increasing. So I decided that I will go with something which I can control, and thus I stopped using Azure and AWS. But I'm not saying that they are not good. There are a few cases where I still use Azure. For instance, for all my block storage, I do not go with other services. I still go with Azure for my block storages, and I also use Google Console, G-Cloud for some of the services. But for each of the services, we need to do a small experiment and then go ahead with finalizing. The same for Azure as well. So in this case, in this video, I will go ahead, in the series, I will go ahead with either Droplet or Vultr. For my production applications, for my clients, I always suggest them, advocate them to use any of the two. And for my personal websites and work, I use Vultr. So for this video as well, I will go ahead with Vultr, which I find very easy to use. Thank you.